and, of course, pushing the buttons, a man called Tim, who we refer to as the golf bag stealer because I played beautiful golf at a corporate day once and won a tailor-made golf bag, which he stole. And therefore I didn't end up with
Allegedly
it. Hence he's called the golf bag stealer, which is exactly, Duke, what he is.
It's pretty ordinary behaviour.
Helped himself
golf bag, I would have thought.
That's I came screaming back here to do the rush hour, wondered where my golf bag was.
Knocked off.
Never seen it again, and he thumped it.
But that's been shortened now to Golfy or golf bag.
Golf bag, just simply known as golf bag. Anyway, golf bag, hit the button here, please.
Ship the hell off.
Ship off.
Ship off. Ship off. Find a little boat and ship the hell off. So just to give a little bit of background on this. Jim approached me during the week.
Yes.
Just a little concerned that so many people are getting away with things. And every now and then I think a reality check is good for all and sundry.
Yes. Agreed. Sounds good.
All of us included.
No, not as...
So the brief was to scan the globe and look for those that might just need to be pulled up a touch.
Yes.
Did you go,
And
go
give them a
global?
word of advice.
go outside this box, Stu?
We're outside this box. I'm going to kick it off now. I don't know if you watch much of the French Open. It's been absolutely absorbing. And we saw a fantastic quarter-final the other day between Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. Mm-hmm. You got to understand that Nadal had won 40 matches in a row at Roland Garros. He'd won the last 5 titles in a row and 9 titles out of the last 11 years.
Oh,
that's fairly dominant, isn't it?
It is.
We now have 4 players who are chasing their first ever French Open left in the semis. So I just thought, he was a little unlucky, but Rafa ship off.
Oh, shipping Rafa
off. He was making it too boring, Jim, by winning all the time.
Ship him off.
A bit like that. Now get to the point earlier,
They don't be judging this segment this early.
You better be very careful, Wolf.
Oh, I know, I've got one coming.
There's a couple of clubs in the AFL that are at their lowest ebb. I'm talking about Carlton and also the Gold Coast Suns. And when you're going through tough times, it's all hands on deck. I mean, it's bum up, head down, hard work. You've got to be super disciplined.
Yep.
A couple of blokes don't think they need to be. A couple of blokes just thought, I'm just going to crap in the face of my leadership group and the club and just thumb my nose at everybody that cares because Charlie Dixon, Jack Martin and Chris Yarran all decided to run their own race. So collectively, the 3 of them, ship off.
Ship off. I like it,
Collectively. A collective ship off.
We've
Ship 3 off in one.
been speaking about the Hall of Fame. Was a very, very good night. It's the most prestigious, celebrated player, past player recognition that the game affords. Biggest names, the greatest players ever involved in the game. I would have thought that perhaps a touch of humility would be appropriate. One bloke decided otherwise.
In 99, I'm there, I'm watching a game, and at that stage I was playing on the quick guy, so I'm watching Geelong play, and so Ronnie, number 8, one of the brothers, when he gets the ball, he kicks this beautiful left foot goal, and they're about to win, so Ronnie does what Ronnie does. He goes around the boundary line, he's doing aeroplanes, and he ends up doing this stupid cartwheel. I'm back in my house thinking, what an idiot. And the next week we're playing Ronnie, and we had good wind, going around the Gabba, and a teammate of mine, Leper, he goes, why do you do one of those cartwheels? So I said, rack off, Leper. Anyway, I did a cartwheel. The next week it was friggin' hot. We went again and going around to thank the crowd, and I went down the western end there and Leper goes, go one of those cartwheels, and I was that fatigued and I was sweating and it just had nothing, and I ended up couldn't do a cartwheel. I did a handstand. Everyone's embarrassed and all my crowd, my family embarrassed, but mate, I sold more hot dogs, more Cokes, more than anyone in the history of the Gabba because they all stayed around and watched this stupid handstand every time we won.
Acker, congratulations. It was thoroughly deserved getting into the Hall of Fame, but ship off.
Chief, he's just been inducted.
That was a sportsman's night, wasn't it?
That was the Hall of Fame.
The Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That was a little side microphone chip off too, wasn't it?
Yes. Right, now, while we're on the Hall of Fame, and we spoke earlier that it was fantastic to see Plugger get inducted. Long overdue. And we're very fortunate because we've all heard more stories about Plugger than most. Because our very good friend, the Spud, Danny Frill, has been able to tell us about all the years growing up with Plugger, the road trips they had between Ballarat and Melbourne and all the hijinks they got up to, all the things that they did over the journey. Well, at the end of a fantastic oration from Tony Lockett, he was then given the opportunity to thank some people. There was one in particular non-mention that I thought stood out, and to me that was Plugger just saying, Spud, head on down to the wharf, hire yourself a boat, and you can ship off too.
Oversight.
Conspicuous in its absence, let me tell you.
Just an oversight.
Right. So no mention of Spud.
None.
Really?
Donut. I don't know if you've been following the practices of FIFA, the world governing body, for the World Game. It's been extraordinary stuff, and Well, Sepp Blatter was just re-elected. Amazingly so, given 7 of the top-ranking officials had been indicted and arrested, and there are all sorts of fraud charges going on. But just have a listen to what Sepp had to say.
I am the president of everybody. I know many people hold me ultimately responsible for the actions and reputation of the global football community. We, or I, cannot monitor everyone all of the time. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. But we will do a good job together, I'm sure. So I thank you so much. I thank you for the trust and confidence. Trust and confidence. Together we go. Let's go, FIFA. Let's go, FIFA. Thank you.
Wasn't long after being re-elected that he mysteriously resigned. I think he may have seen the writing on the wall, but you're right, Sepp, you're not perfect, but you are very, very good at systematically raping the world game through carefully orchestrated rorting and fraud over the best part of 30 years. I think that gives Sepp Blatter the ultimate Ship The Flog Off. You are a disgrace. One more to go, Jim.
One more.
One more in our first ever Ship Off
Top
of the
10
year.
this is like a David Letterman style.
Just those that deserve it, Duke.
Yes.
A gentleman that didn't start the week off that well. I'd just like to have a listen to a couple of things that he said.
FreezeMND.com over 1 point.
Again.
I'm in trouble today.
Oh, no.
Hinchy's $12,000 bread.
Very curious.
Bed, that would be. Bread. The Hinchy $12,000 bread. I keep saying that.
Bread.
Bed.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Need a lie
Bed
down.
and bread.
FreezeMND.com over 1 point.
Again.
I'm in trouble today.
So, look, the week didn't go particularly well.
Been a long year.
Is that Billy Brownless' microphone?
Then he started to talk about subjects, to be brutally honest, he shouldn't be talking about.
Check out the Chief, Jason Dunstall. He's shown you how it's done. The Chief's
Good kick for goal, that man.
could kick them straight, the Chief.
He was good.
Pretty boring, though. He just let up and took a test mark
boring.
and kicked them over your head.
And let's say this, he had the best service in the history of the game. They hit him on the tits every time.
I could have kicked 1,300 if I'd have been sitting there.
No, Duke, to be quite frank, you wouldn't have got near it, my big pencil-neck giraffe. And then on the top of that, he decides to turn up late tonight. That is,
Yes.
and just one that we should also make. Don't ever bag an icon. So what I wanted to say to you, Duke, was in the greatest spirit of Triple M in the
think I had to go plug
inaugural
it.
edition of it, you can ship off.
I like it, Chief. I like it. Very nice
A big
start.
finish, Chief.
Very nice start. Well, you got to take down one of your own.
No, you don't know. That's been
necessary.
far too well produced for Chief to pull it together.
Go around
So-
the table for a first outing. Give.
Well, I like it, and I'll tell you what I've got here, and that's some direct feedback.
Yep.
Like, very direct. From a man who knows and likes the Chief and have known him for a long time, Campbell Brown. Hurry up, Chief, or you can ship off yourself.
Tighten it up a bit, I would have thought, Chief. Apart from that, very nice.
It'll be longer when I'm talking about you.
I actually,
very good.
And Campbell Brown, if he mattered, I'd probably do one about him.
I actually thought he did a good job.
Very
Chief.
good.
It was a little hard to watch when he had half a dim sin on the side of his face for the whole 8 minutes. That made it a bit hard.
That's okay. Half of him would poke out both sides of your neck, Duke. In fact,
got his eye in.
I might whip you out the back and just floss my teeth with your head, Duke.
If you could just wipe
You're
your
the ultimate pinhead, my friend.
if you could just wipe your mouth, Chief, every now and then.
I've seen thicker dental floss, Jim, than Duke's skinny melon. I got to be brutally honest.
It is a fair contrast
might-
between my melon and yours, I must admit.
I might whip you out the back in a minute and floss my teeth with your head.
Geordie Brown loved it, real crisp by the Chief right there. Sharp stuff from the Chief, says Brad Cook.
I like
Lee,
it. I like it.
Leslie Chief, the Admiral, the man that launched 1,000 ships, ship off, well done. Catherine Lloyd, loved the segment, Chief. Hope it's on every week.
It will be.
So very nice start,
Nice.
Chief.
Very
Good
nice,
start,
Chief.
Chief.
Not as good as poor Chief.
You had to work
Just reading him out.
That's it. That's it. Chris Newman to join us next, of course, from the Tigers. Nice work, Chief.
You're better than that, Chief.
Oh, don't worry about that.
No, I'm not.
Ship off.